Guess what?
What?
I have two questions for you.
Mm-hmm. What are they?
Number one, how would you like to make a lot of income from writing?
That's a fantasy. Well, not a fantasy in the sense that it's not possible, but a fantasy in the sense is that'd be completely ideal for me. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to end up.
I can help.
That's what I've been thinking.
Do you believe that I can help you?
I've already believed that before you even said it.
Why?
I honestly felt kind of bad. Not like that I didn't want you to make a commercial, like for my book, like which we made earlier. But it was like you're just doing this for me, and I really appreciate it, and I would love to help.
Do you love people? Humanity.
I don't like judging people by collectives, at least not usually. I'd say by default, yes, but it can be lost.
Elaborate.
Well, typically, whenever I meet someone, I'm nice to them by default.
I'm not talking about
Yeah, yeah.
people that you meet.
Oh, you mean like?
I'm talking about humanity in general. People. Do you love people? Like, do you love the citizens of Providence?
Well, a big part of love is like, I need to know like specific people. I don't think I can judge people just by a collective. I mean, like there's great people in Providence, and there's also killers in Providence.
I don't have to judge people in order for me to claim that I love America, therefore I love Americans, therefore I will do whatever necessary to promote America and Americans. Likewise, I don't have to know about various nations in order for me to claim that I love the planet. I love every type of people. And if I can do something for the human race, I would.
I guess in that sense, the answer would be yes, if you put it that way. I mean, to most of it anyway. I had gone through that humans continue existing, then not existing, and if there was, say, the threat of extinction, which I could stop, hypothetically, well, I wouldn't just say no because there's bad people who exist. So I guess the answer to the question, do you love people, is more yes than no.
Yes, and that's true for most people.
Yeah.
Unless you're a hermit, then.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know Horace Mann?
What do you mean? Like a horseman? Or?
Horace Mann, Mann is his last name.
I don't think so.
Last question. Carl Sagan's gone. Stephen Hawking's gone.
Yeah.
Did you ever think, when you were a little black kid watching Carl Sagan, that at some point the most beloved scientist in America, maybe in the world, would be an African-American man?
No, and I'm still a little bit freaked out I think I don't view it as a personal achievement. I view it as evidence that people have a little bit of, everybody's got a little bit of geek in them. And I'm there tickling it for them and I'm stimulating it. And it rises up and they want more. And so my hope for the future is that this bit of stimulation gets people to want to care about what is objectively true, care about science, care about technology, care about the future of our country and the future of civilization itself. And if I'm a catalyst for that, that's great. I don't even have to be remembered for any of it. You know what I want on my tombstone? A quote from Horace Mann.
No kidding.
Wow. You know, the grassy Tyson said that.
Didn't have to be remembered for any of it. You know what I want on my tombstone? A quote from Horace Mann. Be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity. Be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity.
Yeah, beautiful. Listen, Neil deGrasse Tyson, give his brother a round of applause. Thank you for being here. Everybody.
What do you think of the quote from Horace Mann?
Yeah, I've thought about that before. Less about humanity generally, and more like just some sort of something to leave of yourself. I guess that's kind of selfish though.
No, not if your impact is for humanity.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what makes us human. The difference between human and animal is just what you can leave behind for later generations. That's my theory is that that's probably the only thing that makes us different from other species.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, the main reason I've thought about that before is have you heard of the play? It's a musical called Rent. Yeah,
Rent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a character in the play. He's dying of AIDS, and he's also a musician, and he has a whole song about it, and it's a big part of his character. That one thing he wants to do is just leave behind one great song before he dies. And I thought about that. That's the main reason I've thought along similar lines to that. But a big part of me, I just when it comes to all of humanity, I just never felt as though it's not that I didn't have the desire, just that I didn't have the potential to do something that on that large of a scale.
What if I said you do?
I'd ask how.
Do what?
I'd ask how.
You have the potential, and potential, that means latent usefulness, meaning that it's hidden and you don't know. To realize your potential, you have to uncover that, and through a tumor slang process, I can influence your potential. That's the power of tumor slang. It can influence your potential. Tumor slang is powerful because it can influence your potential in ways unimaginable.
That's a big claim, but I believe it, and I
You
like
know
to.
what wealth means?
Sorry, I forgot how you defined it.
Passive income.
Yeah, yeah.
To uh, the reason why many people, many of us are poor, because we're not wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we're not wealthy, not because we don't want to have wealth or we don't have the potential to create wealth,
Mm-hmm.
but because most of us don't understand what it is. And if you don't understand what it is, you won't think of creating it.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise with relationships and love, for that matter. So if you want to write a book that can change the way we think, Tumor Slang should be one. Because we don't have a Tumor Slang book yet.
What about what's that? What about that book you wrote?
That's Tumor's philosophy.
Oh.
It has a set of Tumor Slang definitions.
Mm-hmm.
But that's version 1.0.
This is
Version
2.0.
2.0 would not have the rules. We would strip out the rules and make it a nomenclature,
Mm-hmm.
so that it can become even more powerful. And the reason why you thought of comparing Tumor Slang with the Bible, because you had a vague idea of the impact Tumor Slang might bring
Yeah.
across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I dare to bet that Tumor Slang will outsell the Bible in 1,000 years,
In 1,000 years. Yeah.
if not faster.
Okay. Because the Bible is the best-selling book that's ever existed.
Right, and not for long. If
I mean, yeah, something's got to outsell it eventually. It's just probability.
and it's Tumor Slang is my bet.
I'd hope so. I don't see. I mean, again, I don't. It is a really big number to beat. But yeah, if any book were to do it.